second. Okay. Hi, everybody. So today we're going to talk about the 2025 proposal that was sent out by CMS on Monday. And there's quite a bit that's here that we need to talk about. And one of the things that is a big deal is that there's a lot of changes here that I want to go through. Several of these can affect your way of working moving forward. It is not set in stone. It is a proposal. And I'm going to say that a couple of times because some of you are not going to pay attention to what I'm saying and you're going to half-ass listen. And I need you to zone in for a minute because it's super important. So a couple of things in the chat. I did ask you guys, I put in the link for the survey. Please do me a favor and do that. You should have also gotten it if you are a NAIP member via your email. For those of you that are not a NAIP member, this is one of our professional organizations. National Association of Benefit and Insurance Professionals. What they do is a ton for us. They are actually spokespeople for our industry at various levels of legislation, including with CMS, with Congress, with various states, the NAIP, and all of that fun stuff. For those of you who do not know who I am, as I mentioned, my name is Amanda Brewton. I am the owner of Medicare Answers Now, which is an FMO out of Cleveland, Ohio. I have been working in this field for 17 years. I'm known for the teaching and the training that I do. This presentation will be recorded. I will post it on social media and YouTube. We will go ahead and answer your questions as you go. You can also find additional information regarding the classes and the stuff that I do at my website, which you can see on the screen, which is MedicareAnswersNow.com and then just /calendar. I do host two major conferences each year, Medicare Margaritas, which is down in Orange Beach, which will be this upcoming March, and then Ms. Medicare, which is my women's focused conference, which is every July. And then new for 2024, I am partnering with Medicarians in Las Vegas for April 8th through the 12th. I would totally recommend getting in to that conference. They do have free tickets that you can register for. It's called a hosted ticket. And if you use the referral code, Amanda, you can go ahead and get in there. They have a full day that is solid agent content that I am building out, and then 2 more days that are basically the who's who. So this is a more build your knowledge of the industry type of event than a rah-rah sales event, guys. If you want meat and potatoes on how things work in our industry, Medicarians is the event that you want to go to. We will have representation from both professional organizations, NAIP and NAIFA there. They will be doing panels on the upcoming changes for 2025. There will be modules on compliance and all sorts of other stuff with that. So what are we going to talk about? What the hell is happening? Why is it happening? What can we do about it? And what's the timeline? The reason why I put this together is that many of the agents that I talk with don't know how the legislative side of this stuff works. And candidly, many of you feel as though you're a victim, and you're not. There's a lot of ways for you to get involved, get your voices heard, and to provide feedback. And this is my way to educate you on how that works, because I realize that not too many people do. So other things to note, because if you're new, you do not know who I am. Here is my contact information. So you can jot all of that down. There's my email address, which is Amanda at Medicare Answers Now. Phone number, website. I do have an office up on Rockside Road in Cleveland. Check it out. I'm also all over social media, as all of you know. Okay, so let's get into this now that I've had another 80 people join into the meeting. CMS issued a proposed set of changes for 2025 on this past Monday. It was a lovely 486 pages long. You can find this document on the Federal Register, which is where all of the legislative documents are. So if you're a nerd and you like reading that stuff, by all means, click into it and you can look at it. There are 12 proposed changes. Some of these are really good. You've got changes coming to the senior supplemental benefits. You've got changes coming to DSNP, and then you've got a whole bunch of changes that they are proposing to our compensation. And I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about what you can do about trying to help us head off the changes that are happening. So please give me about 45 minutes or so to run through this information with you. And we will probably by the end of this answer several of your questions that you have when it comes to this. Julie, if you have a question, put it in the chat or the Q&A for me. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand. So what ended up happening is that you do have CMS is looking for feedback on this proposal. And the good thing is that we have about 45 days for you to take a look at what is happening with the proposal and then submit your comments when it comes to the proposal that is here. So, you will get a copy of this webinar. You will get a copy of the slides after we are done. I will also put the recordings all over social media, so not to worry when it comes to that. With this proposal, this is one of the proposals that they have issued. So there is possibly one that's coming later to talk about additional changes that they may have. But this one is concerning the supplemental benefits, the DSNP plans, prior authorizations are in this, mental health is in this, and then the compensation. So I'm going to go ahead and get rolling into the material. So what happened and why? I'm sure a lot of you are not paying attention to the legislative stuff that's going on because, quite frankly, and this is not a political one way or the other discussion. This is straight factual about what has happened. So I don't care about your political beliefs. Please can it. But what did happen is that the Senate Finance Committee and CMS have done a series of reports and hearings over the last couple of years. And one of those just ended, which is why this is coming out now. There's not an underlying backstory on it. Senator Wyden convened a Senate hearing on October 18th. And as a result of that, we have some issues. You've got three main people that provided testimony. One was from the Ohio SHIPS director for the Ohio Department of Insurance, which is Christina Reg. You have Kobe Bloomfield-Gans, which is from Chapter, and then you had Krista Hollig from Security Health Plan that testified. If you want to look at any of the hearing testimony, you can find it at finance.senate.gov and pull it. But between that and then Senator Warren publishing a report in February of 2023 highlighting commissions regarding the Medigap side of the business, which talked about the trips and the bonuses and things on the Med Sup side, as well as Wyden publishing in November of last year about the Med Advantage deceptive practices. This is all snowballed, guys. So it's got this massive shining light as to what's happening. So why am I talking about this? And the reason why I am is because you have to understand that the legislative body speaks for the population, right? We all know this. And who votes? Little old ladies and little grandmas. And the last thing that a legislative person like a congressman or a senator want is to have it where grandma's on Channel 5 talking about something happening to her life savings or being saddled with medical bills or being harmed in any way. So what is happening right now is we have a massive disconnect. And the disconnect comes from where you have all of these negative stories about what's happening with MedAdvantage, Medicare in particular. Social Security now is in the limelight. Anderson Cooper's been doing a lot of exposés regarding Social Security. So they're looking at what is happening to the senior population and how they are being, for lack of a better term, taken advantage of. And it's a very negative light, right? So that is why a lot of this stuff is happening, is that you have such a big spotlight on that. One of the other things that you need to understand is that CMS, when somebody calls in to do a complaint with with whatever compliance issues that there is one bucket for call centers and independent agents. They don't splice it out. CMS can't see the difference between the call center and us, the independent insurance agent. That poses a problem. And the first time that we identified that is when they shifted the third-party organization definition, or TPO definition, which now includes, and I'm going to read this because I've got several people that called in, it includes all organizations and individuals, including independent insurance agents and brokers, who are compensated to perform lead generation, marketing, sales, and enrollment related functions as part of the chain of enrollment. TPMOs may be a first tier, downstream, or related entity. So this means TPMO is us, your FMO or upline, the lead companies that you use. That is all in one bucket, and that poses a problem. It is one of the things that NAIP is trying to splice out and show that you cannot put call centers and insurance agents in the same buckets. So we're trying to go ahead and do that. What it is that we need to do, and what I'm going to ask you to show, is that I need you to share the stories of the good that we do in our communities. This is one of the ways that we can go ahead and candidly shift the stereotype of what is happening. So let's go ahead and let's talk about what the hell is happening here. So first thing is that they are looking at going ahead and changing and adding an additional heading to, or specialty type, for outpatient behavioral health benefits. And basically the reason why they're doing it is that these are for mental health benefits that are supplied by a marriage counselor or family therapists. And they do it primarily by telehealth. So that's one of the changes that is coming. They're looking at going ahead and fast tracking the appeals process, which has had issues. They're also looking at going ahead and allowing Part D plans more flexibility to quickly make substitutions for lower costs biosimilar biological products. Another one that they're looking at doing is that they are looking to increase the percentage of dual eligible managed care enrollees that receive benefits by revising the current quarterly SEP to a monthly option. Did you catch that? They're looking at moving the SEP for those that are dual eligible from a quarterly change to a monthly change. That's a big one, right? So as Danielle is in the comments, she says they are accepting comments on these proposed changes through January 5th. And I'm going to go through the timeline towards the end of this to go and solidify that. So other things that they're looking at doing is limiting the out-of-network cost share for DSNP PPO plans. It would go ahead and it would shift to reduce the cost share that goes to Medicaid, which increases payments to safety net providers, expanding dual enrollees access to providers to protect them. So William's question, dual eligible used to have a monthly SEP, so a step back in time. Yes, basically they put it back. They're looking at lowering the DSNP lookalike threshold from 80% to 70%. And for 2025, and then reducing it to 60% for 2026. And then they're also looking at including expert in health equity on utilization management committees to conduct annual health equity analysis for plans, prior authorization policies, and procedures. Basically, what that means is that the analysis would examine the impact of prior authorization on employees with one or the more following: eligibility for Part D low-income subsidies, dual eligible, or having a disability. The results would be made public and be put on the websites. So, yeah. When we go ahead and other things that they are looking at doing is they are requiring that when it comes specifically to supplemental benefits, the MA plans right now, what they're finding is that a lot of people are not using the benefits that they have available to them. And for those of you that don't know what a supplemental benefit consists of, those can be the built-in dental, vision, transportation, grocery, over-the-counter benefits that are built into some of those Advantage plans. What they want to do is they want to send a letter about halfway through the year saying, hey, heads up, do you know that these benefits are available to you and you need to use them? That's one piece of the puzzle. The other piece that they are looking at doing is they are looking at requiring that the carrier submit documentation that the benefits that they're trying to promote are actually improving the health or the overall function of the chronically ill person. So what kinds of benefits would those be that, may go away? The robotic pet, gas cards, pest control. Those are different benefits that utilities could be up on the hook for this. So several people have asked and said, okay, well, how are they going to back the evidence on that? And the answer is that they would back the evidence on it because several of the carriers have actually published documentation over the based on outcomes over the last several years of what they have found. Anthem did this, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. They published a study talking about what the outcomes were of the supplemental benefits that they started offering in 2019. So there is documented information, but that also means that that documented information has to be supplied at the time that they submit their plans for the upcoming year, which means that they have to provide a bibliography of and cite their source to offer those benefits in June. The other thing that they're looking at doing for supplemental benefits is that they want to minimize the marketing requirements so that it doesn't look as though these supplemental benefits are available for anyone and everybody. And there are qualifications for that. So this is definitely one of those that it's important. There's quite a bit that is here. And I'm going to stop for a quick second. Galen, Danielle or Shaylin, do you have anything to add when it comes to the pieces that we've talked about so far?
I would love to add just a couple of things. Hopefully you can hear me all right.
Yeah.
I do want to address the DSNP moving to the monthly election. There's a couple complexities there that I think are going to confuse people for a little bit. The main theme I want people to get for the DSNP side of this coin is CMS is strongly guiding towards reducing the number of DSNP plans available in an area and encouraging higher enrollment in coordinated care plans that are coordinated with like a state MCO, managed care organization. So that monthly SEP is going to be targeted specifically towards enrollment in those MCO plans, not all DSNP plans as we see them today. There's going to be a lot of changes to DSNP over the next 2 years that people really need to pay attention to, because the general theme I'm getting from what I've read is simplification, reducing the number of plans available in a market, particularly on the DSNP side of a coin, to make it a little easier for those beneficiaries to actually determine, are there significant and impactful differences between these plans that would cause me to make a change.
Danielle, do you have anything that you want to add? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and there was a question in here that I'm going to read it so that way, and the answer so that way you guys have it. What is a DSNP lookalike threshold? And the answer on that is CMS is trying to reduce plans that are not DSNP plans, but are designed to look like a DSNP and track members that could otherwise enroll in a DSNP plan. The threshold refers to the percentage of the plan enrollees in a non-SMP plan that are DSNP eligible. Plans exceeding the threshold are subject to non-renewal, means that they will no longer exist. The current threshold is 80% of beneficiaries in a non-DSNP plan are DSNP eligible. The plan is classified as a lookalike. So the other piece that I want to mention is the monthly versus quarterly SEP states that it is specifically for integrated dual eligible plans and PDP only. It mentions by limiting the number of plans that can enroll dual eligible individuals outside of AEP would reduce aggressive, confusing marketing tactics towards dual eligible individuals throughout the year. HIDE and FIDE plans are not available in every area, and I'm not sure they are agent represented. If it sounds like they are eliminating agents' ability to move clients during the year. No, you still have the SEPs, so you do have those there. So MCO stands for Managed Care Organizations, and let's see, Danielle says, for some reason, my microphone doesn't seem to be working, but you can see that CMS is trying to reduce confusion and make sure that plans aren't creating benefits to lure beneficiaries that have no health benefit. So we've got some good information here when it comes to the changes regarding the DSNP as well as the supplemental benefits. So other things, and this is the big part of it. CMS is proposing to redefine compensation to a set and fixed amount for next year. That means that we run the risk of all taking a massive pay cut. Did you hear me? Let me say it again. CMS is proposing to redefine compensation to a set and clear fixed amount. And what that is $632 compared to the national existing compensation of no more than $601. That national, and that is for regardless of how the brokers pay, whether they're, how they get paid. So whether you are, that's the max amount that you can go ahead and get. So in English, what this means to you is this: all of those extra payments that you are getting for the HRAs, if you are receiving any co-op money from your upline, insurance carrier, anything, that is all going away. If you are getting an override in any way, shape, or form, if you are getting bonuses from the carriers, all of that is on the hook to be going away. This is why we are having this conversation right now. Yes, this will remove overrides. What this is doing is it prohibits contract terms between the Advantage plan organization or the carrier and the marketing middlemen, which is referred to as an FMO, that result in volume-based bonuses into certain plans, which run the risk of steering people. So this is huge. So I have somebody that's asking what an override is. And what an override is right now, what happens is the majority of you are contracted through an upline or an FMO, NMO, IMO, GA, whatever this is. What this is that is the carrier going to these agencies like mine and saying, hey, we don't have enough manpower to train and to watch all of the compliance issues and do all of the everyday things to assist the independent insurance agent. So what if we pay you X amount of money to help us monitor, train them, get them selling, help them market, do all the compliance stuff? Do we have, if we pay you this override to take on some of these responsibilities that we as a carrier have, are you game? That is what's referred to as an override. Those overrides are under the administrative fee bucket that CMS allows the carrier to pay out. That is all potentially going away. Okay. So how will this affect companies like JSA, Integrity, other FMOs? It's a problem, guys. And here's the thing that here's what this is what CMS and the government doesn't understand. I did a post yesterday and I asked all the different things, all the different services that your FMO, upline, NMO, all of that provides for you, the independent insurance agent, that you don't have to pay a dime for. And if you look at my screen, you can see all of the different services that the FMO makes available. One of the biggest ones is all of you use a quoting engine like Connexure or Sunfire. That would be your Medicare Resource, Smart Enroll, My Health Plan. Those systems cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who's going to pay for those now? You? I don't think you have the extra money. These are all different things. John, what about GA overrides? Let me say this again for those in the back. Stop multitasking and listen to me for a minute. FMOs and any kind of override, whether you are a GA, SGA, IMO, NMO, FMO, all of the alphabets, they all go bye-bye. Any kind of money that you get outside of your 601 goes away. Is that clear as crystal, or do I need to repeat it for a fourth time? Somebody sound off. So what ends up happening is that, thank you. So all of these things are things that your FMO provides to you. Here's the other thing. How many of you guys do community events out in the community? How many of you get carrier support for all those community events? Any money, giveaways, and stuff that you get for those carrier events, that's all potentially going bye-bye too. What they are saying is that these monies are steering you to put your client into a plan that isn't exactly the right thing for your client. And here's where the problem is, guys. All they're hearing is all the negative out in the industry, because that's all that they are hearing when it comes to ships and everything else. Do you now understand why it is that I asked you to be on this call? Why I'm asking you to tell everybody to get into one of my other trainings that I do on this? This is so important. So what has to happen is I need you to use your voice. I am asking all of you, take a look at this screen that I have up right now. You should be concerned, guys. We need each of you to take the half hour or hour that you have, and I need you to submit to CMS your experience and the good that you do win your communities and how you help your clients and do what's in the best interest of your client. That's what I need. That's what we need you to do. Everybody in the industry, we need you to show that you guys actually do good. One of those things, case in point, stopping the unsolicited calls, finding people food stamps, going anything that has it that shows the good that you do in the communities. What we need you to do is you need to submit either in writing to the address that is here, or you can go to the link that is in this particular on this particular slide, and you can submit your feedback. Here's what I need you to do, guys. There is some food for thought, and here's the tips on the submission, and it's super important. I need you to explain what you think about what's going on. If you do not agree with what's going on, I need you to go ahead and, yes, I'm going to put the links in the chat. So hold on one second. Where is it? There it is. Hold on. What I need you to do, there's the link. So what I need you to do when it comes to, and I'll go back and answer all of the questions that just flew through here, but when you are submitting your particular feedback, and we need as many agents as possible to do this, I need you to share your stories of the good that you do in the community. And I also need you to show your value as well as the value that you get for the people and your business partners that you work with in the industries. What you need to do is submit this by January 5th. You only have one time to do it. You cannot go back and edit your response. If you don't like what is happening, suggest alternatives. Keep your comments that are constructive, please. And then you need to identify what makes your comments distinguishable from somebody else. So I need you to talk about that you've been in this business since it began in the dawn of time. I need you to talk about that you have 6,000 clients or 600 clients, and you talk with them 4 times a year, and you sit down and you have coffee with them, and you have established relationships with them, and it's not a set it and forget it. I need you to provide sound science and or reasoning in the comments that you do. Don't just bitch about it, prove it. Also are looking for provide examples on how the proposed rule will impact you positively or negatively. And then also, what could this possibly do economically? Guys, we need your help. I need you to take the time to do this. I know that this is a lot, that everybody's busy. I know that if you can go ahead and get testimonials from your clients and upload them into your comments, I would recommend that you do this. So Michelle Maluli, you asked about this. How do we do this? What I want you to do is you're going to put your comments in here. You're going to read hold on a minute. I have to have it where you guys can actually see what I'm looking at. What you're going to do is you are going to come into this particular comment page, double check the comment list checklist that is right here. You're going to you have 5,000 words that you can put, and you can write your comments in here. What you're going to do is you can put all of your testimonials from your clients as attached files. You can put up to 20 of them in here. So this is where you go get your testimonials from your clients talking about the value that you have helped them do, what they helped them and made their lives better. I need you to do this. And then you're going to talk about who you are and post this. You will not be able to fix it after the fact. What you are going to want to do is when it asks you about comment category, your comment category is an individual. Your comment category is an individual. Now, so Dustin, your question about shouldn't NAIP give talking points? No. Undoubtedly no. And here's why. You see this section right here about form letters? I'm going to read it because I've got a bunch of people that are listening. Organizations often encourage their members to submit form letters. However, it diminishes the voice that we use. So no, we almost did until I watched that. Do not do a form letter. I need you to personally write this and share your story. Guys, your income depends on you sharing your story. And if I can get a couple thousand of you guys to share your stories and we can show the good that the independent insurance agent does, it makes it huge. So that's where I'm going with this. I'm going to go ahead and go back and read. We've got a ton of comments in here, and I want to go ahead and talk about them for a second. So just give me a second and we'll go from there. So one of the things that, somebody made the comment about carriers should be screaming right now over all of this. Right now, everybody is looking at what the call letter says, including NAIP. There are formal comments that NAIP, AHIP, the carriers, lots of different entities will provide comments. So, but I'm asking you guys to do this over and above what we traditionally do, right? Because it can't hurt. It can only help us. And candidly, if something's going to change my income, I want to go down with a fight. And I want to show the value that we have and what we're able to do. Danielle says we are talking about tens of thousands of agents whose businesses may fail to no more support or leads or training up from the uplines. This is huge. So we do need to go ahead and do that. And Noelle, your comment about it's not true, we don't steer this stuff, you don't. But let me give you some examples of things that I've heard, guys. I had an influencer that posted in a group saying that if you are looking to work for free and you're not going ahead and concerned about the commission that you make, you should give your clients to them and go work in a soup kitchen. I've had agents when they talk about, they've posted things where they talk about going and, well, if they drive 2 hours to an appointment, it doesn't matter. They're walking out with an app because they don't want to go ahead and drive all of that time and waste all of that time for nothing. Those are the bad apples. We need to come up over and show the good apples, because the negative is what's running right now, not the sound of what the good agent is doing. Tell your story. Please, I beg you. Next point that, so David, who's pushing for this? You must have missed the start of this presentation where I went through the background. There have been several reports that came out of the Senate, and there was a Senate Finance Committee hearing that was done on October 18th, which, because of the details that were in those, that is part of why this proposal came out when it did. So this is why we are trying to combat it. Tia, your comment about there's absolutely nothing about these proposed changes that is in the best interest of the beneficiary. You need to explain that with your comments that you submit to CMS, and propose what needs to happen. Personally, I will fully say this. I think that CMS's enforcement of bad agents is completely wrong. I think having the carriers enforce the rules is the wrong way to go about it. I think that if CMS wants to stop the bad actors, what they need to do is they need to go and have it where those bad actors are stopped completely from selling any kind of plan. Right now, they don't, somebody is found for doing bad behavior. What ends up happening is that when the carrier says, hey, don't do that, and we are killing your appointment, their response is, fine, screw you, I'll go sell somebody else. And then they do. And until they go through all of their carriers, they continue the bad behavior. I think fundamentally CMS has to change how they are doing the enforcement, and then these things will get cleaned up. And that is the only way that I see that being fixed. So I partially agree with you. Dawn, I feel like we need to control the FMO GA situation. It's a large overlay and not all are obviously alike in terms of service. The service is definitely based on production. I do not need either of my FMOs. They went away today. If they went away today, I would be fine. So my question to you would be, so you are quoting off of Medicare.gov rather than using a connector-based system, or you're using the carrier systems where if you're quoting 15, 16 different carriers, you have to look at those all at once versus having one system to go ahead and do that. Are you attending any trainings that they do? There's a lot of different things that are out there that, like I said, the FMOs offer. Here's just a sample of the things that various uplines offer when it comes to this. Do we have statistics on how many independent agents are needed to help how many beneficiaries? If this is reduced by the changes, seniors will be at the mercies of the call centers. No, we do not have any statistics. So we would want to go ahead and that's part of why that survey was done, is so that we can get the information out there. Kelly's comment, it just shows that they don't understand the industry at all. I agree. But this is why we're getting loud on it. I did put the link in the chat so that way you guys have it. What about agents who are captive? Same thing. You can't get any more than the 601 or no, the proposed 632. That's it. Everything else goes away. Your stories need to include how the FMOs are beneficial to your business and help you be a great agent who helps many people. It's not a problem if they regulate some of what the FMOs get, but $31 is not nearly enough. Even if your FMO doesn't do much for you personally, think of an industry devoid of them. We won't have sponsors for our conferences or etc. So to Danielle's point, if you have taken any class I have done, if you have attended any conference that I have done where you don't pay a dime for it, all of those would go away. How would you get your information? How would you learn about things like this today if I didn't spend, and Danielle and Shaylin and several others spend hours of our time trying to disseminate the information for you? Could you manage that on your own? Or then would you truly fall victim because you don't have the time or the energy to be able to do it? You can be factual in your responses. You should be respectful in your responses, but you have to pull the emotion out of what you say, guys. You have to be able to do that. And you have to be constructive with what you say. Can you ask your clients to give testimony? Yes, put it in writing, and the more testimonials that you have, which are evidence, bring it, submit it. Please do that. Can we do something like having our clients sign a petition or some kind of statement indicating that they're satisfied with this? Be careful with your bulk stuff, Joanne. I would probably want individual testimonials. They would carry more weight. Shaylin's point, also realize CMS's job is to safeguard beneficiaries, not the agent. So every story should be geared towards the impact of the client, not if we do not conduct business, which is very true. Jean, this is for Medicare. It is not about U65. Is this only, again, it is Advantage in Part D specifically, but it helps overall. So I would definitely do it. What if you're a GA-MGA? It's same thing. Your overrides are going away. So next one, Danielle, I do agree with your comments to a point. Sponsorship is not my concern. Override market is out of hand and not fair to all involved. I don't know how to fix that, but so many layers of support seem very beneficial, wasteful, and part of why costs keep continuing to rise. I'm just keeping the, oh, sorry. NAIP is putting together comments, but one association's comments can get lost in the fray. We want to overwhelm CMS with comments about what will really work. Keep in mind, guys, when you do this and you submit your comments, they have to read them. They have to catalog them. They have to give them all an ID number. So it is super important that you go ahead and you do it so that way we can catalog them. So Jill, like how I just listed an elderly lady in the hospital and helped her with her insurance. Yes, those are examples that you want to do. What changes, if any, are proposed for PDP and Medigap? Well, I just talked about all the PDP ones. That's what this is about. Is there a public campaign? No, you can. I'm doing the public campaign. I guess that's what you would call it. And this is my call to action with it. If you're looking for a beneficiary related one, no, because this is interfaced to the agent, not to the beneficiary. NAIP depends on those sponsorships, though. If FMS and Integrity and the others are suddenly gone, how do they go ahead and they get their funding? It's a very valid point. How is the agent income affected? Comp stays the same, overrides. I've just talked about this and spent 45 minutes talking about it. If you don't understand that, go back and listen to the replay. I've actually repeated myself 4 times in this. I'm not going over it again. Let's see. If I can be honest, being a very new agent, this is very scary and making me wonder if I should do something else. But I have also invested so much time and money into this. Yes, it can be scary. And there is some cause for concern, but at the same time, show the value of the good that you do. We do good work. We just need to highlight the good work that we do. So how do the bad apples get weeded out? Just like I said, it ended up going ahead and, we need to show the success stories of the good agents and the agents need to get the play of what we do well in the community. And then we also need to change how the enforcement is done on the carriers. I think it's huge that we do that. I think Don says, I think it's important in these stories to explain how the professional agent is different from the characters that are creating the chaos. I agree. So by showing that you're different from the call centers, that is definitely one, definitely. Should you consider writing your congressman? Yes, please, David, as much as possible. And anywhere that you can help me sound off and let the other agents know in the community, the more that you can help me do that, help us do this, the better. Can I put the address for the physical letters up on the screen? It is now showing right now. Can you send an email out to all of we can send an email out to all of our clients, put in the subject line, I need your help. Send it to your clients and then ask them to respond with how they've helped you. And then print all of those out, scan them and upload them in. That's how I would do it. Can you add reviews to your website to obtain more testimonials? I don't know how to do this. Cindy, I would probably do like Michelle is recommending. That makes more sense. So do an email, put the subject line, I need your help, and then ask for the help for them to put something in writing. But we need to get loud about it. Carriers seem to be more concerned about selling their product versus weeding out the bad apples. They have their hands tied. I can tell you this from personal experience. I used to enforce the compliance side of this when the agents, bad apples, used to break the rules. And when that happened, the agent comes back and says, fine, screw you, I'll go sell United, I'll go sell Aetna, I'll go sell Humana. It doesn't stop them all the way, it stops them for that second. So until they're able to stop the bad apples entirely or fine them significantly, this system is broken. And we all need to show that. Okay, so how do we weed out the bad apple FMOs? I just answered this. Let's see, eliminating leads on Facebook would help. Yeah. Danielle says, I plan to share that FMOs are not the only issue here, and decimating them is not going to stop beneficiaries from flocking to these plans. People enroll blindly into these plans because they are free and provide benefits like gas cards that have little to do with health insurance. Also, commercials they think they banned have been out and forced this AEP. TPMOs are running them away. Can you actually send the link to our client? You could. I would just make sure that your client actually understands what they're taught, what they are submitting feedback on, and the parts of the call letter that they are talking about. Good agents need to turn in bad agents and go to the Department of Insurance and not be afraid to turn them in and make enemies. Agreed, because if you're complacent, you're part of the problem. You're not helping it. Is this the product of this, the Senator Martinez spearhead, in the Senate Finance Committee? It's more, Wyden, and Warren that are spearheading this, Catherine, than Martinez, but yeah, it's a mess. For the 8th, 9th time now, what happens to the FMOs? They are going to go away if this gets passed. I'm almost, good God. Okay. I'm the only one giving this information. We appreciate it. You're very welcome. FMOs are not the problem. I'm the vice president of National FMO, and we pride ourselves in helping the brokers do what's right for the member. We are not part of Integrity or AmeriLife. We do not steer any brokers towards particular plans. We provide tech tools, training, and such more. Brian, please get loud. If you need me to come in and do a webinar for your team, if any FMO wants me to come and do a training for you guys to teach about this, either steer them to one of my master trainings that I've got on the 18th, 30th, and on the 14th, or I will do one specific for your downline if you want it. But please, guys, get the word out. Another thing Danielle says, ask CMS to create a way for good agents to report bad actors. We can literally help them police the problem. Yeah, we need to do it. How much are these overrides? Overrides vary, and how are they paid? They're paid out by the carrier, and it's basically for the training, and the tools and helping you build your business. So, that's where that one goes. Is this recorded? Yes, it is going to be recorded. I will get this out so that way you have it. Will renewals remain for right now the way that it reads? Yes. Yes, you can take a copy of the slide. You can take the slides and share them. You do have the ability of sharing them with your local NAIP chapter. Yes, you can do that. If you need me to do a call to go ahead and teach it, again, route to one of the master ones, or go ahead and I can do a special one. What about current overrides we're already receiving? Don't know. They didn't go that far into the weeds. Also realize everything that you comment is public record, your name, and anyone else can see it, so play fair. Shaylin, good point on that. Coming from the FMO side, now a broker, we need the good FMOs, yes. Danielle says we will discuss further next week on the NAIP Power Hour. So if you're a member, look for the email about NAIP and register to join. Guys, if you're not a part of NAIP, I highly recommend that you join, because we got to band together on this. It's huge. CMS should survey members to determine satisfaction. They do. They do multiple surveys, so that is out there, Cindy, but it doesn't get to the weed level that it needs to. How much would Connecture cost an independent insurance agent? Do they sell directly to the agent? They do have agent level tools. I have not talked with Connecture to know what the sourcing is on that, but I know last I looked, it was pretty expensive. Let's see. Do you have a two-sentence explanation that we can use to explain to our clients in an email? So what I would say, Joanne, is that the government doesn't understand what we do for a living and the service that I provide for you and how my services have benefited you. Would you please write a quick note? If I have helped you at all, can you share an example of how I have helped you? And that's how I would do it. I hope that helps. Can we get them to fire Joe Namath? Honey, I'm trying, John. I'm looking to see what other questions and stuff that we have. Do you guys need me to flip to a different screen? What percentage of bad agents do you estimate? In 18 years, I rarely run into competition. I've only met a few bad actors. Well, I did compliance for 14 years for the carrier side. I think that there is definitely a marked presence of non-compliance right now, and almost a dare me attitude with how bad agents play. It's disheartening, but it's out there. So yeah. How are FMOs steering towards specific products? The example that I use is this. So you call in and you've got a client, you need to go ahead and figure out what makes sense for this client. So you call your FMO and say, hey, I'm looking at Anthem, Aetna, and United for this plan. Which one do you think that I should write them in? And there's not real major difference in all of those. What potentially can happen is that the FMO goes, you should go ahead and write Anthem for that. Well, you don't know their logic as to why they chose Anthem, and it could be for reasons other than just what those benefits look like. So that's primarily how that works, or it's an example of it. Brian says, I know for a fact that Humana, United, UHC, and WellCare all went to CMS as a united front to fight this. NAIP stands for National Association of Benefit and Insurance Professionals. Shaylin got that one. I am way behind on these guys. Sorry. You guys blew up it. Scott, my company is Medicare Answers Now, and I am an FMO. See. I think I got them all. Physical address is on the screen right now, so we are okay. John, I did talk about the overrides all going away. Okay, so yeah, so for those of you that don't know, I had surgery 2 weeks ago. I had a hysterectomy. I'm in a lot of pain right now, with me sitting here. So that's what you're hearing is that, but it was necessary for me to come on and do this training so that way you guys could get the information. So, that's what you're hearing. And yes, I really need you guys, with as busy as you are, to work on this and get out in the community and have use your voice. You are not a victim in this, and I cannot stress that enough. You have got to use your voice for the agent to hear this, or for the CMS to hear this. I would get permission to share or use their testimonial. That is definitely a good point. For anybody that has missed this, if you need to tell somebody to get on the calls to do the training, again, I will have one Saturday the 18th, on Thursday the 30th, and I will have another one on December 15th. I would highly recommend that you have the agents get on one of these calls. The sooner the better, so that you can process your thoughts on what is happening, guys. It just makes more sense. Do we have any other questions? I'm gonna For those that are on the phone, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to go ahead and unmute. You'll be able to go ahead and talk. And I will go ahead and give you guys the, I will email the presentation. It is a 6 meg presentation. So I will upload it into both of my Facebook groups, which are Medicare Marketing and Motivation, as well as Ms. Medicare. And I will also upload, I will turn it to black and white and email it out for you guys, so that way you have it, and then it's a 3 meg file. I had somebody come off mute. Do you have a question? Are any comments how are med subs affected? Currently, there isn't any. Can we get an email with the links for the upcoming meetings so that we can share it? Yes. So the link to my calendar is MedicareAnswersNow.com and then /calendar. But I will put the registration link in there so that way you guys can route it out as well.
Amanda, this is Danielle. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yay. Okay. Sorry. I somehow got muted with the group. Just wanted to say, everyone, when you're sending in your comments, remember to be very respectful and make your points legitimately. Don't be outraged in your reply. They made some comments about that they won't consider things like that. So we want to be coming from a place of, hey, I'm a great agent. I know great agents. We do a great job. Here's some testimonials. Here's why I rely on my FMO. And this would be very disruptive. And you can also compliment them on some of the good things that they're doing, like the behavioral health changes. That's the kind of comment that you want to have go in.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The supplemental health, and also then if they're going to make the carriers prove now why that benefit actually benefits health, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to last call the comments and the questions. I did this for an hour and a half just because I wanted to make sure that I answered everything that you guys had. Have I heard about the new birthday rule for med subs? Yes, I have. It's pretty widespread with several states. Jury's out as far as that goes, and what it's going to do for the industry on med subs. So yeah, stay tuned, because I think that that's going to shake some things up on the long term, not on the short term. I think short term, everybody's going to be, oh yay, this is great. I don't know that that's actually going to be able to be sustained. Okay, going once, going twice. I am done. I'm baked, guys. I'm going home. So have a great weekend. I hope that happy AEP. I will shoot this email out in 2 seconds so that way you have it. Please, for the love of God and all things holy, use your voice, talk to your agent friends, tell them to get on one of these calls, tell them to do the action so that way we can move forward with it. Please, I beg you to do this, because if you don't, you are going to feel the impacts of this. And it looks that, that it can be as soon as June that these changes come into effect. So it's not good. But thank you all, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you.